What is going on, everybody? In this video, I want to rank every single year one head coach for the 2025 college football season. I've done some research on some of these coaches, and this ranking might not be perfect. I do believe there are 29 year one head coaches heading into next season with the new addition of Stanford head coach Frank Reich, who recently signed there. So yeah, I'm just going to rank all 29 of them from worst to best. Now let's kick off this video with number 29. I have Sam Houston head coach Phil Longo. I don't think this was that special of a hire. He previously worked from 2014 to 2016 as the program's offensive coordinator. And during that stretch, they did win 34 games and rank as the number one scoring offense at the FCS level. He also had experience at Ole Miss, and he made stops at North Carolina from 2019 to 2022. But as the offensive coordinator for Wisconsin, he did not do anything for them, and they were very bad on offense after a sluggish 2023 and 2024 season. He has produced some solid offenses for the bulk of his coaching career, but I don't expect him to be that great of a head coach for Sam Houston. At number 28, I have Ball State head coach Mike Yuramovich, and he is no stranger to the MAC. He worked from 2016 to 2018 as an assistant for Northern Illinois. He also has head coaching experience at the FCS level, and he's been coaching for a long time. He has a solid offensive background and a track record of maximizing rosters at lower levels. I think he'll be an okay fit for Ball State, but nothing special. At number 27, I have Central Michigan head coach Matt Drinkle. He spent the last 6 years as an offensive assistant at Army, and before that he went 42-17 as the head coach at Kansas Wesleyan. He led an offense that averaged 54 points a game at the NAIA level, and he led them to the semifinals in 2018. But he is a very risky pickup for the Central Michigan team. He has limited FBS experience. His offensive background and track record is at a very low level. That makes him an outside-of-the-box hire, and I can't rank him much higher than 27. At number 26, I have Tulsa head coach Trey Lamb. He is one of the youngest coaches at the FBS level right now, but he also arrives to Tulsa with 5 years of head coaching experience before that. He's a former standout quarterback for Tennessee Tech. He went 20-20 at Gardner-Webb from 2020 to 2023, and he guided East Tennessee to a 7-5 season in 2024. He will be making his leap from the FCS to the American level, so he will have a huge step up in competition. But he did show improvement at both the programs he went to before. He does have a background on offense. He should fit okay for this team, but I can't rank him any higher. I have him at number 26. At number 25, I have UMass head coach Joe Harasamayak. I probably pronounced his last name wrong, but he will be taking over a very bad UMass team. He is a New Jersey native, and he has experience at a tough place to win too. He went 20-15 as Maine's head coach from 2016 to 2018, and that included a trip to the FCS semifinals. He also has spent 3 years as the defensive assistant at Minnesota and also at Rutgers from 2022 to 2024. He's not a terrible hire for this UMass team, and I do have him at number 25. At number 24, I have Marshall head coach Tony Gibson. There's few coaches that know the Mountain State better than Gibson, and in addition to the experience that he has, the longtime assistant has made stops in his career at Michigan, Pitt, Arizona, and he also spent the last 5 years coordinating one of the best ACC defenses in NC State. He will be a first-time head coach next season, and that will derail his track record a bit, but he has a lot of coaching staff experience for some decent football teams, and I think that could help him out. And I do think he'll be a solid fit for Marshall. I have him at number 24. At number 23, I have Rice head coach Scott Abell. He has no previous experience at the FBS level, so that does derail his track record a bit, but he does have a track record of winning at tough jobs, and this should be an okay fit for Rice. Rice has not been a good football program in a very long time, but from 2012 to 2017, Scott Abell went 39-24 at Washington and Lee, and he also guided Davidson to 47 wins and 3 FCS playoff trips over 7 seasons, and that's not a bad track record at the FCS level. But he will be taking over a pretty bad Rice program, and he still has a lot to prove. I only have him at number 23. At number 23, I have Dowell Logains. Again, I don't know if I pronounced that last name right, but prior to landing a job as tight ends coach at Arkansas in 2021, This is a guy that spent the bulk of his coaching career in the NFL, and that stretch included 4 stints as a coordinator and extensive experience working with quarterbacks. And after a 2-year run at Arkansas, Logains landed the play caller role at South Carolina. And South Carolina averaged 5.6 yards a snap and ranked 12th in the SEC in scoring in 2023. However, Logains' group did improve slightly last season with 5.94 yards a snap, and he did help develop Lenore Sellers. He has no previous experience as a head coach, and he still has a lot to prove, but he has worked with some solid coaching staffs at the college and NFL level, so I do have him at number 22. At number 21, I have East Carolina head coach Blake Harrell. He wasn't considered a frontrunner for this job after Mike Houston got fired after 2024. But Blake Harrell won his first 4 games as the head coach for East Carolina. And he's no longer just an interim head coach, he is now that head coach for that team, and he led them to a bowl game win over NC State. He also has decent experience coaching with the Citadel from 2014 to 2018 and Kennesaw State in 2019 as the DC. He was the defensive coordinator for East Carolina from 2020 to 2024. But now he will be the head coach heading into next season, and East Carolina has some good production. And I think he's going to step up into a decent role for this East Carolina team at head coach. I do have him at number 21. Number 20, I have Wake Forest head coach Jake Dickert. He will be replacing Dave Clawson, and that's going to be a tough assignment for Dickert. However, he was okay at Washington State with a 23-20 record. He knows how to maximize talent, and he led Washington State to 8 wins last season, and they beat Texas Tech and their rival Washington. He does have no experience coaching on the East Coast, though, and this will be a huge change for him. And I certainly think he'll need time to adapt in the ACC, and I can only rank him at number 20 for now. At number 19, I have Stanford head coach Frank Reich. I really don't know what to think about this hire. He has a bunch of experience at the NFL. He was the head coach for the Panthers for multiple years. He led them to around a 50% win rate. But I really don't think this was a great hire for Stanford. I have to give them some credit because he does have a ton of NFL experience. But hiring him as basically a rental for only 1 year was a very odd move, and I can only rank him at number 19. At number 18, I have FIU head coach Willie Simmons. I think this might be the right coach to turn around FIU. This is a team that has had just 4 winning seasons since 2004. He worked as Duke's running back coach in 2024 after 2 stints as a head coach. From 2015 to 2017, Simmons had a 21-11 coaching record at Prairie View A&M, and from 2018 to 2023, he won 45 games at Florida A&M. He does have some ties and previous head coaching experience in the state of Florida. I think he'll be a decent fit for FIU, and he brings some upside to this team. I have him at number 18. At number 17, I have New Mexico head coach Jason Eck. It was surprising to see a pretty good head coach in Bronco Mendenhall leave New Mexico last season, but New Mexico should continue its improvement under Eck. He's not a bad hire. He has a wealth of experience as an assistant from a variety of stops from 1991 to 2021, including a stint at South Dakota State from 2016 to 2021. He got at Idaho at the FCS level to 3 playoff trips, and he also picked up an FBS victory over Nevada in 2022. I think he's a solid hire for New Mexico. I have him at number 17. At number 16, I have Ohio head coach Brian Smith. They promoted him from offensive coordinator to a head coach after Tim Albin left that team for Charlotte. And this will be Brian Smith's first head coaching job, but I think he's going to be an excellent fit for this team, and he's gained a wealth of experience from a handful of stops. He was an assistant at Portland State, Hawaii, and Washington State. He's a former offensive lineman at Hawaii, and he helped Ohio's offense rank number 1 in the MAC in scoring in 2024. He guided the team to a win over Jacksonville State in their bowl game. And I think he's going to step into a pretty good role as the head coach for this team. I trust him. And I do have Brian Smith at number 16. At number 15, I have Kennesaw State head coach Jerry Mack. I think he's a solid fit for this team. Mack is just the second head coach in Kennesaw State's program history. He spent his 2024 season in the NFL as a running backs coach for the Jacksonville Jaguars, and he also has prior experience at the FBS level. He coached at Memphis, South Alabama, Rice, and Tennessee as an assistant. And most importantly, he went 31-15 as the head coach at North Carolina A&T from 2014 to 2017. He has to really turn around this Kennesaw State team that went 2-10 last season with their first season in the FBS. But I think he's a solid fit for this team, and I think he gives this Kennesaw State team optimism. I have him at number 15. At number 14, I have FAU head coach Zach Kittley. He is 33 years old, and he's college football's youngest head coach. He has been on a fast rise through the coaching ranks, and we see how some of these young coaches have been. They have been rising up in college football. He had a 3-year run calling plays for Houston Baptist from 2018 to 2020. He also coached at Western Kentucky in 2021 and Texas Tech from 2022 to 2024. And under Kittley's watch, the Hilltoppers ranked number 2 nationally in scoring offense, while Texas Tech last season finished number 4 in 2024. This is Kittley's first head coaching job, but he has great experience and he's definitely proven himself as a good offensive mind. He could produce high-powered offenses, and I think this is a huge hire for that Florida Atlantic team. I have him at number 14. At number 13, I have Bowling Green head coach Eddie George. Eddie George is the 1995 Heisman Trophy winner at Ohio State, and he's a 10,000-yard rusher in the NFL. He's a guy that knows the sport very well, and usually these guys can become great head coaches. Not only does George bring instant name recognition, he's also a proven and successful head coach. From 2021 to 2024, he went 24-22 at Tennessee State, and that included a 9-4 mark with a trip to the FCS playoffs just last season. I think this is a head coach on the rise and is a huge name. Maybe I'm giving his name too much credit, but I have him at 13. I think this is a good hire for Bowling Green. At number 12, I have UCF head coach Scott Frost. I think this could be a win for UCF or an absolute bust, and I don't really see there being an in-between. From 2016 to 2017, UCF went 19-7, and that included a perfect 13-0 season with a victory over Auburn in the Peach Bowl. However, he then went to Nebraska, and he was a massive disappointment. Nebraska failed to record a winning mark under Frost's watch, and they went 16-31 from 2018 until his dismissal during the 2022 season. There's going to be some pressure on his name heading back to UCF, but I don't see him reaching the success that he did before. I can't rank him any higher, but I can't rank him any lower too because he has done incredible things at UCF. I do have him right in the middle at number 12. At number 11, I have Jacksonville State head coach Charles Kelly. Don't get me wrong, losing a head coach like Rich Rodriguez was a huge loss, but I think Charles Kelly is also a very good fit for this team, and I think he was a great replacement. He played college ball at Auburn and previously worked at Jacksonville State from 1994 to 1998. He's been a long-time assistant, and he also had stops at Alabama from 2019 to 2022 and Auburn in 2024. He has a wealth of experience in the South as an assistant, and he also has prior ties to this program and state. He can check off a lot of boxes for this team, but he is a first-time head coach and he does have big shoes to fill. But I am going to give him some credit because of his experience at big-time programs in the South, and I think he'll be a good fit for this team. I have him at number 11. At number 10, I have Southern Miss head coach Charles Huff. I think he was a very good hire for Southern Miss, and this is a Southern Miss team that has been horrible the last couple of years. He recently led Marshall to a 32-20 record, and he led the team to a Sun Belt title in the program's first double-digit win season since 2015. However, Southern Miss has had just one bowl game appearance over the last 5 years. But with Huff arrivals and some investment into NIL, I think they should be one of the best teams in the Sun Belt if he can turn them around. They've done a really good job in the portal. I know they're coming off of a terrible season, but all it takes is 1 year to turn them around. It can happen in college football, and I expect Charles Huff to turn this team around, and I have him at number 10. At number 9, I have Washington State head coach Jimmy Rogers. One coach out the window, but another good head coach comes in. And he's been on a fast rise through the coaching ranks since his playing career ended at South Dakota State in 2009. And he joined the Jackrabbit staff in 2013, and he worked his way up the ranks. And he ended up landing a co-defensive coordinator role in 2019. He eventually became the head coach in 2023. And he certainly maintained South Dakota State's high level of success, going 27-3 overall and winning the FCS National Championship in 2023. So that alone is huge news for Washington State. They got a former FCS National Championship head coach. But it will be a challenge for him taking over a program in the FBS. But I think this was a good hire for Washington State. I have him at number 9. At number 8, I have Charlotte head coach Tim Albin. He was a longtime assistant coach before landing the top spot at Ohio following Frank Solich's retirement prior to the 2021 season. And after a 3-9 debut that year, Albin guided the Bobcats to a 30-10 record over the next 3 seasons. He led them to a MAC title in 2024 and 3 of the program's all-time double-digit win seasons. He's a proven head coach with a good track record, and I think he's going to make the most at Charlotte, and this Charlotte team desperately needs this coach. I think this was a massive hire for Charlotte, and I have Tim Albin at number 8. At number 7, I have Temple head coach Casey Keeler. Another team that really got a steal to be their head coach is Casey Keeler. I think this was a huge hire for them. It's very odd to see him leave Sam Houston. The Pennsylvania native spent the bulk of his coaching career on the East Coast, including stints at Rowan from 1993 to 2001 and Delaware from 2002 to 2012. He won an FCS title in 2003, and he posted 86 victories from 2014 to 2024. And he guided Sam Houston to 97 wins, and he led the team to a FCS national title in 2021. They transitioned into the FBS in a very good way, and they won 10 games just last season and won a bowl game. He's a proven winner and one of the most underrated head coaches in college football. And this is a massive hire for a Temple program that has not had a winning season since 2019. And I do have Casey Keeler at number 7. At number 6, I have Bronco Mendenhall, Utah State head coach. He will be returning to his home state of Utah after a pretty decent year 1 at New Mexico. He previously went 99-43 with 4 double-digit win seasons at BYU from 2005 to 2015. He directed Virginia to a 36-38 mark and 1 trip to the ACC title game from 2016 to 2021. He has extensive ties to Utah and the surrounding region, along with a good track record of winning. I think Mendenhall is a great hire for this Utah State team, and he will be preparing to move into the Pac-12 in 2026. And I do have Bronco Mendenhall at number 6. At number 5, I have new West Virginia head coach Rich Rodriguez. He's the former Jacksonville State head coach. This is a guy that was a West Virginia native when he went 60-26 from 2001 to 2007. He then went to Michigan and had a pretty disastrous 21-27 stint. But he went 43-35 at Arizona in 5 seasons. He finished 27-10 at Jacksonville State in the last 3 seasons. He has a ton of experience, one of the most experienced coaches in the sport right now. He's had some lows, but he's also had a bunch of highs. But he has won basically at every stop in his coaching career, and he will be looking for redemption at West Virginia in the moving future. I have him at number 5. I think he's a big hire for this team, and I think he's certainly an upgrade from Neil Brown. At number 4, I have Fresno State head coach Matt Entz. I think this is one of the more underrated hires. He left North Dakota State's head coaching position to work as a defensive assistant at USC in 2024, and that definitely paid off. He went 60-11 at North Dakota State and led them to 2 FCS national championships. He helped elevate that USC defense, and now he's going to be the head coach for Fresno State, and I think he could definitely make this team into a Mountain West championship contender and probably a playoff contender. I think this is one of the more under-the-radar hires, and I have him at number 4. At number 3, I have UNLV head coach Dan Mullen. UNLV went 20-8 the past 2 seasons and surprised college football. This is a program on the rise, and now you got a veteran head coach in Dan Mullen joining the team. Losing Barry Odom was a huge loss, but Dan Mullen is a guy that can carry over that momentum for UNLV, and this was a big hire. He has 2 successful head coaching stints on his resume. From 2009 to 2017, he won 69 games at Mississippi State, and arguably the hardest job in the SEC. And from 2018 to 2021, he went 34-15 at Florida with 1 appearance in the SEC title game. He hasn't coached in multiple years, but he has a great offensive track record, and he's been able to win basically everywhere. And I think he's certainly going to be able to keep winning at UNLV, and this is a good hire for UNLV to replace a very good head coach in Barry Odom. I have Dan Mullen at number 3. And to no surprise, the coach a lot of people might have been waiting for is Bill Belichick, North Carolina head coach. I am not putting him at number 1, though, because all of his experience is in the NFL. And I don't know if he's going to stick around long at North Carolina, because it's going to be interesting to see how he can adapt to the college game. But I have to give the name of Bill Belichick a lot of hype. He's won multiple Super Bowls in the NFL for the Patriots. And North Carolina probably hired the best head coach in NFL history. This is a huge hire for North Carolina. It could end up really helping them out, or it could be a bust. I really don't know. But regardless, I have Bill Belichick at number 2. And I think the best year 1 head coach heading into 2025 has to be Purdue head coach Barry Odom. He led UNLV to their best 2-year stretch in program history and back-to-back trips to the Mountain West Championship game. And now he's landed his second chance at a power conference job. He previously went 25-25 in charge at Missouri from 2016 to 2019. But he has more experience, and I think he's really going to help turn around that Purdue team. And he has really brought in a solid transfer portal class for this team already, and he's really revamped the roster. I will not be surprised if Purdue makes a bowl game next season and turns it around. And I think Barry Odom was a home run hire and a hire that this Purdue team desperately needed. And I do have Barry Odom at number 1. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video of me ranking all 29 year 1 head coaches for 2025. You guys let me know what you disagree with down in the comments below and which head coach I'm sleeping on. But let me remind you guys to like the video and also subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so you never miss an upload. And if you guys love college football, then you'll love this channel because we upload a ton of college football content and we basically cover everything on this channel. So definitely consider subscribing. And also consider checking out my socials down in the description below. But that is going to do it, guys, and peace out.